One more prompt I was given today that I had to think on like a lot was, how does violence affect me? There's been a lot more shootings recently in multiple cities and states, and there's so much I could say for this one, but I'm gonna keep it, you know, short and sweet. The topic I went with for today is, I will say, school violence, because I feel like it's not talked about as much as we think it's talked about. Like, we talk about suspensions. Oh, yeah, girlie got suspended. Oh, he got suspended. Whatever. But it's not really like, we don't really talk about the principles. We don't talk about anything like that. We don't delve deeper into the problem. We just see everything as surface value, and I don't like that. Face value is just not it. Like, you can't tell, like, I can't go to somebody and be like, I think that you're a terrible person. I don't even know this person. And that's creating a single story about this one person. It's like the same with violence. Not all violence is stemmed by hatred. Not all violence is committed by one person or one group of people. But my school violence has been, more so me getting suspended or, almost into a fight with boys. I have never ever fought physically with a girl. And I just think it's because the girls who were always in my grades at the time were never the type to swing first unless, you started some terrible rumor about them. But dudes were always ready to fight, and it didn't even matter who you were. And I always felt like I had to defend myself because, me being a bigger girl, and black and not light skinned, colorism is a thing. It just, it was always a constant struggle, and I always felt like I had to defend myself because, if I wouldn't do it, who else would? So that really changed my outlook on how I perceive people as well, especially younger people. They're really malicious, and they're taught that stuff. Their older brothers and sisters don't teach them that that's wrong, or oh, maybe you shouldn't say that, or their parents don't teach them that because that's how they were raised and how they had to fight through school. And it's just a vicious cycle. But I've grown older and I've realized that. But at that time, I just really, it changed my genetic makeup in a sense, because I used to be really shy. And now I'm so far from shy, like it's not even funny. I will really tell a whole random person my whole life story. I'll walk up to somebody and be like, hey, you want to talk? Like, I'm just like real bold now, and I'm emboldened. Like, fighting with boys have really just emboldened me. Like, I just feel like if I could fight a boy who's supposedly so big and stronger than me, I can literally fight anything. And I still feel the same way. I've still never fought a girl, unless you consider my sisters and my cousins. But that's a whole different playground. But all in all, I just feel like violence is violence. And violence begets violence. I don't understand why people don't understand that. Like, if you come at me wrong, I'm going to come at you the same way you came at me, because we are mirrors of each other. And that's the same way it is with school, and the same way it is with kids. If a little kid sees somebody push, or a little kid sees another little kid push another little kid, that little kid will think that's okay because that little kid got, or no punishment, or their mother wasn't that worried about it. Like, so they'll start pushing little kids thinking that's okay. And it's not. But that's just how we are as humans. We mirror each other. And I think now I've mirrored a strong person. Now, sometimes I do need to realize when I need help. Or when, if the violence gets too much, like, who should I turn to about it? Or who should I consult? Because I still, find myself in various arguments and, assaults, whatever. But all in all, I just feel like it has mostly negative effects, especially about personal self-image. But you know, sometimes there's good to it. Sometimes, like, you know, if you win the fight, people will back off, but like, at what cost? Like, why did I have to hurt you for you to realize that that was wrong? But that's just how I feel. But also, it also taught me that I'd rather not fight first. It's taught me that I'd rather talk about it first. Like, I'd rather, like, if you can't come to me as a person before we have to fight about some beef that could be squashed, then that just means I have to beat you up because you won't understand unless you get beat up. That's okay. Some people got to learn the hard way. But I'd rather talk about it first. But that's just a little snippet about me. I'm telling you, real little. I'll be back.